look, thanks, Josh, for taking some time out of your day to
Pleasure.
come in here to Abbey's and tell us about the ILF. Now, can you tell me how you actually came to be an ambassador?
I became an ambassador it was probably about 10 years ago now, and it was really just from an interest and a passion about the idea of bridging the gap in terms of literacy in Indigenous communities, particularly in remote Indigenous communities. My wife worked in publishing at the time, and she alerted me to the ILF's work, and I just wanted to get involved. So initially it started by putting on an event called Busking for Change, and I did that for a few years, and we raised about 50 grand for the ILF, and through that I became more and more involved and have remained an ambassador.
Yeah, and so now that you're a lifetime ambassador, what additional thing is that?
I just mean I'm just locked in.
You've got a tattoo
I'm
now.
locked in, yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. It's more I think an acknowledgement from the ILF of the work that I've done. So it's an honour to be a lifetime ambassador.
Okay. And as part of the ILF ambassadorship, does that mean you've been up and done tours
I've been out to a couple of communities. I've been out to the Tiwi Islands, which was amazing and really eye-opening, and also out to the Garma Festival in eastern Arnhem Land. It's definitely eye-opening to get into the communities and actually see the impact that the ILF's having out there.
Yeah, I think one of the things that, working in a bookshop is we're surrounded by books, and we see, it's not that you take them for granted, but you just assume that everyone reads. And then when I was doing a little bit of reading about the ILF, and to get this idea that many of them don't actually see books, on a day-to-day basis, or the kinds of books are very limited and so on. So I think that struck me, as just to what the ILF does.
So the ILF is, focused on literacy as a stepping stone towards self-determination and being able to make choices about people's lives. And, the reality is in these remote Indigenous communities, English is often, the fifth or sixth language that they speak. So it's the most important thing, and one of the things that I'm really passionate about what the ILF does is making sure that the books are culturally relevant. So for instance, translating them into language relevant to the communities. And for instance, something that I found out today, these books that are being launched mid-year this year, they're counting books for early literacy, and in this particular community, they don't actually have specific numbers in their language beyond 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then many. Right. So if they'd just done a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 book, it wouldn't have been particularly relevant to the community. So it's about making sure that all the books that they translate into language are culturally relevant. And that's really difficult because there's 1,000 dialects of Indigenous language throughout the country. So that kind of stuff is stuff that I think most people would probably take for granted, but the ILF really digs deep with that stuff.
Good, okay. Well, thank you. Thanks once again
Pleasure.
for telling us about that.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.